Guys, it's been so hot the last couple of weeks and our plants are stuck right in the middle of it. And unfortunately, they're not able to move away, take a nice dip, or get into a shady area to protect themselves. So I thought I'd go ahead and make a video about 20 plants that are able to stand the heat. They're the summer champions. They're beautiful. Some are perennials. Some of them are annuals. And they make excellent additions to your summer garden. They can certainly take the heat. Welcome to our Home and Garden channel. My name is Marlene. So the first one that we're going to look at is the Canna lily. And boy, do I love these. They give you that tropical vibe because of all those wonderful colors that they have. And they are perennials in growing zones up to 7, I would say, sometimes in 6B. If you're able to cut them back and put like a thick layer of mulch over them in the winter, they'll come back. And just take a look at them, how gorgeous they are in this beautiful flower bed right here. Just so lively and so summer-like. They also come in yellow and different shades of pink, red, corals, and all of that. Absolutely gorgeous. And they also have some smaller ones too that you could put, like in smaller containers. And this certainly would be a thriller plant in the middle or back of a container garden or even in your flower bed because they pull your eyes in. And the little waxy coating on top of the leaves is what helps to protect them from the heat. Moving on to number 2, and that would be Blackeyed Susan. And boy, do I love this. Look at how large this one is, guys. It's absolutely gorgeous. Member of the daisy family. And they are perennials, so they will come back year after year. And I just love to see them. They're so gorgeous. You can see how bright the colors are. And some of them don't even have a black eye, as the darker color in the center. Some of them have a lot, like these right here. And these ones are a little bit shorter. You can see there's a lot of dark coloration on this one. So it just depends on what you like. I would say there's a Blackeyed Susan for everyone. And the birds, they like to have the seed heads in the winter time, and it's always good to see them out there, especially the yellow finches. And just to show you in terms of size, how they match up to each other, this is one of the taller varieties right here, and then right next to it you'll see a shorter one. And it says that they like outdoor sun, which is 6 or more hours of direct sunlight, and they can certainly handle it. Here's a cousin of theirs, and that would be coneflower. You can see how beautiful they are, and they look very, very similar. And how these plants protect themselves is that they have some very fine hairs along the leaves and the stems, and that actually helps to trap a layer of moisture right next to them, so that way it keeps them cool. And as you can see, pollinators love them, butterflies and bees alike. They can perch on there, and it's very, very easy access for them, and it pairs so well. And you can see that there are different colors. You have yellows, pinks, whites, lots of different in-betweens among those shades. Moving on to number 4, and that would be zinnia. This is one of those summertime favorites. Pollinators absolutely love these. You'll see them used in veggie gardens quite often. And you'll see that there are some really striking colors on these plants. And they do have varieties that are shorter and some of them that grow taller. What I'll say is this plant can sometimes be susceptible to powdery mildew, so try not to have them grow too close together if they're the taller, bushier type. Or you can even go ahead and trim a little bit out of them. And look how gorgeous they are in this flower bed right here. Just so, so beautiful. Moving on to the next one, that would be Angelonia. This is also known as summer snapdragon because it definitely looks like one. And as you can see, they come in a beautiful range of colors. And look how pretty they are in this flower bed right here next to some Vinca. And I think it gives them like a type of a cottage style garden feel. And you can get them in various sizes from your garden center, sometimes even as small as 1-pint containers. Here's some more right here, and some more, the purple ones over there. And if you're more into the reds and pinks and purples, you can get those. Moving on to number 6, and that would be Vinca. And this one is really, really drought tolerant. If you water this one too much, it may actually die on you because it does not like to be watered a lot. Not to say to just, ignore these plants and never water them, but like this one here, you can back off for quite a few days and it will be perfectly fine. You can see the wonderful colors that they have. And these are annual, so they're not going to come back, but quite often they will self-seed, because I've had some of mine come, I see the little seeds coming up, and seedlings, and I say, where did you come from? So that's always a plus. And in this previous video, I went over all the ins and outs of Vinca, how to care for them, how to grow them. I'll link it in the description box for you. And this is them combined here with some Angelonia, and they look so, so pretty. I just love it. Moving on to the next one. That's number 7, and that would be the moss rose, also called portulaca. And these tend to have a little bit of a cascading type of a habit, where they tend to hang over the containers that they're in, so they're perfect for hanging baskets. And this is typically how they're sold in the garden centers. You can see you have like pinks, yellows, and colors that, range in between those two. I guess hybrids from those. They are annual, so they will not come back. But this plant protects itself because it by a succulent nature. If you notice, the leaves are kind of fleshy, and you have some of them that have finer leaves, some of them have broader leaves. But either way, they're able to hold, like water in them, so that way the plant doesn't need to be watered a lot. And honestly, this plant, if you water it too much, just like the Vinca, it's probably going to die on you and not do very well. In this previous video, I talked a lot about how to plant them and care for them, and this one will also be linked in the description box below. Moving on to this one here, pretty little one. This one is verbena, and that's number 8. And isn't that color absolutely gorgeous? And these may be short-lived perennials depending on where you are. Again, I'm in growing zone 8B, so for these are short-lived perennials in my area. So they may come back maybe like 2 or 3 years, and then you may not see them again. It just depends on where what growing zone you're in. And you can see how beautiful they are in this hanging basket right here. And this is a two-tone one, so, so pretty. I think that's probably a new one, because I don't remember seeing that one before. But either way, it is absolutely gorgeous. Just take a close-up, guys, and see how pretty it is. And we also have this kind of, is this kind of like a fuchsia, I guess? Very, very pretty. I just think it's so gorgeous. Perfect for, spiller arrangements. Moving on to the next one, and that's number 9, Pentas. Such a beautiful, striking color, and they come in many different colors: whites, purples, pinks. I've never seen yellow, I don't think, but anything in between the ones I just said. And you can see that pollinators love them. It's a beautiful butterfly on here. I remember my husband and I, we were going on vacation when I had filmed this, because I'd been trying to get a butterfly on video for one of my videos, and I just couldn't find any. And the day we were leaving, as I looked over, I saw it, and I said, oh my goodness, there he is. And of course I stopped and got my footage, and it looks gorgeous. This plant, though, it needs to be deadheaded. So if you see those little spent blooms on there, it's a good idea to just pinch them off. You can just use your finger or a pair of pruners to do it. And the more you prune it back, the more it's going to keep coming, and it's going to bloom right up into the fall season. So when some of the other ones have gotten tired and, worn out, this one is still going to give you all it's got. So, so beautiful. And over here we have the beautiful Cosmos. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I absolutely love Cosmos. That's number 10. And these are annuals. The Pentas are annuals, by the way. These are annuals. You can see how pretty they are. Lots of different colors. And this one is another one too, where if you overwater it, then you'll find that the plant does not do well. It may be kind of limp and, weak, because they like the summer heat. So just look at the colors, guys. So pretty. And the original ones are actually shorter, because those were maybe like about 6.5 feet tall. These original ones that I got first, they are shorter. And then, over time, they have gotten hybrids. So you have different sizes coming out of that. And this is what the seeds look like. And you can still plant them. If you're watching this in midsummer, you'll still get blooms before the fall comes around. They're so gorgeous. Moving on to the next one, and that's Calibrachoa. And this looks a little bit like petunias, but they're not. They're a little bit smaller. And you can see they come in various different colorations. Some of them even have stripes like this one right here. And let me know, guys, if you've grown any of these that you've seen so far and what you think about them. This was some over here in my flower bed a couple of years ago with the Vinca. And they held up so, so well. You can see how gorgeous they are in these hanging baskets right here. You can combine different colorations based on what your color scheme is that you're going for. And I wanted to show you these that my sister grew in her hanging baskets. This was I think this was last year for her. And you can see how beautiful the yellow ones are cascading over to the side. The strangest thing is that she planted both the purple one and the yellow one at the same time. It could have been maybe where the sun shines the most. You can see that the yellow one did so much better. And this, I'm not even showing you exactly how far it got to. And I just wanted to take a moment to invite you to subscribe to our channel if you have never done so before. We do gardening tours, we do DIYs for your garden, and we also go over, any mistakes that we and others have learned from. So if you haven't heard from us in a while, stop by because we do weekly videos. And thank you so much to our channel members. Now, one thing that happens a lot in the summertime that we don't want is weeds. But I just wanted you to know, guys, that if you do have like crabgrass and weeds like those, the grandpa weeder is a perfect tool that's going to help you out with those. This video, we did this a couple of years ago. It's still going good. And it will be in the product playlist if you wanted to take a look at more details on how that plant works. Moving on to number 12, and that would be sunflowers. And they look like the sun, and they love it. And they're annuals. You plant them by seed, and then, they do their thing. And in the fall, it's over, and you plant them again the following year. You can see that there are many different types of sunflowers. Some of them, the mammoth ones, will grow even up to 14 feet, or maybe 10, I think, something like that. Moving on to the number 13, that would be sunpatiens. And as the name says, sunpatiens, that means it likes to get sun. So you can allow this to dry out and then water it when you're ready, and it will be okay. Look how gorgeous these are over here. And the cousin to this would be Impatiens. They, on the other hand, prefer shade. They cannot handle too much heat, especially the afternoon sun. So this would be the choice if you have a sunny area that you are wanting to put your plant in. And see how pretty they are. And just look at them over here, guys. They're just completely filled in and just fluffed out. Because there were gaps in there when these were planted, and look at them right now. You would never know that that is what had happened there. And over here, these are some in containers. You can see how beautiful they are. And guys, be sure to mulch your plants. Even though they are tolerant with the heat and all that drought tolerant, it's good to put mulch to help to retain moisture. Over here, we have the beautiful lantana. And this one is a tough as nails one. And you can see it grows pretty large, and it fluffs out. And this is a short-lived perennial in my area. Next one would be Salvia. And I've had this one for maybe about five years now. I've had it. It comes back every year. It's the first one to bloom in the springtime. And the craziest thing is that this thing will bloom right up until the fall season. It's the most beautiful, I'll say, in the early spring. But like you see right here, it's still blooming. I need to deadhead these a little bit so I can get more out of it. But these are by my beans, and they're pollinating and doing exactly what we want them to do. So they're gorgeous. And in this recent video, I talked about how to help your plants beat the heat, 12 different ways to do so, and I'll link it at the end for you. Moving on to the next one, that would be red hot poker plant. And I'm sure you can see why it would have a name like that. If you've ever grown this one before, let me know in the comments. And they're perennials, and if you cut them down low, the flowers, they will send up more spikes and keep blooming for you right into the fall season. And these ones protect themselves by those fine leaves that are almost like grasses, so they don't lose a lot of moisture. And if you have like like a rock garden style or a modern garden style, this would be perfect for that area. You can see they're pretty inexpensive, and they're perennials, so it's really a wonderful plant to have. Moving on next, and that would be ornamental grasses, number 17. And grasses are a wonderful thing to have in your garden, the ornamental ones, because they're so low maintenance. You really don't have to. This is like kind of like set it and never even think about it again. And they do bloom. It's just that their flowers are wind pollinated, so you're not going to see petals on them. You'll see these feathery plumes that come off looking like that. And I think they're so beautiful. And even like in the fall, you'll see these used a lot with chrysanthemums and other plants like that. Look at this one right here, guys. This is the miscanthus grass. This one isn't blooming yet. There's so much movement and so much life in this plant. I just absolutely love it. So if you want extra low maintenance, then this, ornamental grasses are a good way to go. You just plant them. When the rain falls, it waters them, and you don't have to do anything else unless they're in a small container. Moving on to our shrubs, the first one would be number 18, limelight hydrangea. And I wouldn't say this is extremely drought tolerant, but it is fairly drought tolerant, heat tolerant. This is a better option for you than the standard mop head hydrangea. So if you want a hydrangea, but you have to have it out in the heat, then this is a better choice for you. You can see that they start off with a lime green color, then they get white, and then in the, like in the end of summer, you'll see them becoming a kind of like a light shade of purple. Some of them may, different types of panicle hydrangeas may even be like kind of pinkish color like your strawberry hydrangeas. So it's an excellent choice. Add those beautiful, blossoms, and it is just so, so beautiful. Look at that one. Moving on to number 19, that would be crepe myrtle. We've had this one maybe for about 18 years, I think. And I've done videos on it before talking about how to cure for it and all of that. It is just so beautiful. And, no matter what else is not blooming in your garden, this one will give you flowers. It really and truly will. And it starts off in, I would say, early summer or maybe even late spring, and it goes right up until the fall season. Look how beautiful that one is. I just thought I'd capture that one for you. And this one always puzzles me every time I look back at the video, because I've never seen a crepe myrtle grow like this one before. If you have, please let me know. But it's kind of like, it's almost like it's sitting on the ground, and it just grew that way, and it's just so beautiful. Has those nice pastel colors. So if you like that kind of a cooling look, then this would be perfect for you. Of course, it depends on if it's available at your garden center. Let me show you a close-up of it right there to see how it looks. And look at this one right here. This is a white one. They're almost heavy laden with the flowers. Moving on to number 20, and I have a bonus coming up for you as well too. And that would be bougainvillea or bougainvillea, whatever your pronunciation is for it. Beautiful, beautiful, extremely drought tolerant. The petals are kind of like almost like paper-like. I guess that's probably why they call it crepe. You also have the variegated ones as well too. Absolutely gorgeous. And they really don't take a lot of care. You just put them there and you forget them, and they'll do their thing. Liz from Garden Happy channel, she has a beautiful one, and she's in growing zone 9B. So definitely you can add it to your garden if you're in that area. If not, you can just, grow them as an annual, or bring them in a screened-in porch or patio if you have that. Now it's time for our bonus, guys, and it's about coleus. Coleus, it is something that likes heat if you get the right variety, because there's some of them that I should say full sun, because they're like these, they can take full sun, 6 or more hours of direct sunlight per day. They can even be west facing, and they're perfectly fine. But like the Kong type one, so look at labels when you buy them or you order them and see what it says. If it's not one of the ones that says full sun, you want to plant it in shade. So I hope that this was helpful for you. I want to thank you all so much, those of you that share our videos out. Thank you again to our channel members. And if this is your first time here, we hope you'll consider subscribing so you can journey along with us. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay cool, and see you in the next video. Happy gardening!